What's up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of the Average Joe's X's and O's. I'm Max here with you solo dolo today because scheduling purposes. This is the only day I could do it, and Nick had a dinner to go to for work, I believe. And so I'm doing a solo pod today. So much shit to talk about, dude. I was gonna do it in between the tweets, but I said a bunch of shit over the week, but a lot of it has to do with some Brown shit and some college football shit. So like all of it's gonna be covered regardless. So I'm gonna skip that and get right in because we got a lot of fucking talk. I got blah, 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 blah. I can't fucking speak English today because I'm excited to go over some of the probably the craziest week of football that we've had so far. Excuse the bad fucking shitty lighting in here. It's dark. Normally record, I get the natural light on me, and this little shadow over here. Video guy, sorry. It's kind of bugging me, but we're gonna work with it. And then I got my glasses still. I don't even know I got them on. I don't even need them for this. But first things first, we got to talk some college football. Oh man, where do we begin? So I was gonna do a TikTok. By the way, follow us on TikTok and Twitter at AJXO Pod. Go give it a little follow. That'd be dope. It finally happened. Okay. It's been a fascinating run. It's been great being an Ohio State fan for the last decade plus, because of 10 years ago was the last time that Michigan had beaten Ohio State, and that ended this past Saturday as Michigan beats Ohio State and is now going to the Big Ten Championship this weekend to take on Iowa. Now, it's funny because I work with a lot of people who are Michigan fans, a couple of them, and we talk a lot of shit. I guess I talk a lot of shit because I am a shit talker by heart. And, what can I say? I go back again, go look at through our TikToks. Like 6 weeks ago, I posted a clip of me literally talking about how this was probably going to be the year that Ohio State loses to Michigan, right? And despite the game against Michigan State, our strength was Michigan State's weakness, right? Their pass defense was fucking dog shit, and our pass offense was really good. So, that's what was the result of that is Ohio State took advantage of their weakness, our strength, and we beat the shit out of Michigan State. And I said this weeks ago, if you go watch that clip, the thing that Ohio State was struggling with was the fact that their run defense was pretty shitty. I mean, even early in the season, that first game of the season against Minnesota, if Minnesota's I forget his name, if that running back doesn't tear his ACL or whatever he did, blew his knee out, I mean, who knows if Ohio State would have hung on to win that game. You go to the Oregon game. Oregon basically could run the ball all fucking day. Defense was really bad, right? I mean, the whole season, I just noticed that I was very critical of Ohio State, and it just wasn't a team to me that was ready to make a playoff push and potentially win a national championship. So going into this game, what's Michigan's strength? Running the football. I mean, they look similar to Cleveland out there in the way they throw line up in certain formations because what they're gonna do. It's not a secret. They're gonna run the football, as you've heard Joel Klatt and other national sports media guys probably say. Michigan knows what they do well, and they do. Then you add in that defensive end from Michigan. What's his name? I fucking can't remember. I wanted to say Haskell, but I think I'm wrong. So they're running backs Hassan, right? So maybe I am right. Maybe it is Haskell. But anywho, dude dominated. What do you have? Like 3 sacks. So Michigan did what they needed to do. Ohio State physically got dominated up front on especially the defensive line, but offensively you can make that argument as well. But here's the thing, man. I'm not mad. We all knew Ohio State fans deep down, even the ones that are like, can't take it or really butthurt still about this loss. Like, we had a good run, 10 years beating the shit out of your rival. You can't ask, it doesn't happen all the time. You can't ask for that. Got to be grateful for those years that we brought the rivalry back within, close proximity to taking it over for all-time leading in that game. Because despite Michigan sucking the last 10, 15 years, they still lead overall in the matchup. So We're still, I can't remember how many games down we are, but they definitely still lead. And that's how this rivalry is, man. It goes in swings, right? But here's the thing. Not bothered by it, dude, because here's what a lot of, I think, Michigan fans don't understand, because they're just excited to finally win a big game. The Ohio State Buckeyes on defense are really fucking young. And dude, this is the thing about being good. Bama is the only team that has been able to reload year in, year out, and go play for national championships, despite losing tons of players to the NFL. Clemson had a nice little run there as well, where they were able to reload. And this year, not the case. So as good as Ohio State has been after winning a national championship and kind of getting to the Big Ten championship every year, they've done a pretty good job at reloading the talent there, right? So here's the thing: this Michigan team, Harbaugh's been there a while. A lot of the kids on their team are seniors, juniors, and they're going to have to reload next year. And, if they go out and make the playoffs and potentially make a championship run, a natty run, then maybe they'll be able to get some top recruits in there and be able to reload fine. But I don't know. I mean, there's no guarantees they beat Iowa. I think Michigan's a team that is kind of like the Browns. If you get a lead on that team, which they do got a good defense. So if you can manage to get a lead on that team, then they're not built to really come from behind, I don't think, when they're down a lot of points. So they're beatable for sure. Again, I think OSU is pretty. I understand they only lost 2 games all year, but I mean, the whole season, I kind of felt like they were better than mediocre. They're not a mediocre team. They're still a good football team, but they definitely have some holes to fix on that team. But I think a lot of it is them just being really young, honestly. Even with the stud receivers that they had, and then, it took Stroud a while to kind of get going. I think this team is going to, all the experience the young players have got this year, I think is going to set them up for the next couple of years. I mean, they're always going to be right there, right? So we'll see if Michigan can get a streak going. I don't think they will. I think this was the year that if they didn't win it this year, then who knows if they were ever going to, as long as Harbaugh was there. So congratulations to that team up north. You got one this year. We'll see you next year in Columbus, and hopefully you can beat Iowa, because it's not. I know Michigan fans are like, oh, we're going to automatically beat Iowa. I know Iowa's got 2 losses, I believe, but they're scrappy. They've always been a scrappy team, and we'll see. They're usually got a good defense, so we'll see how Iowa holds up against Michigan's offense, that run heavy offense, and see if they can upset the Big Ten. I don't know when the last time Iowa's won the Big Ten, but Jesus, if Iowa won and got into the playoffs, I mean, who knows? They might miss. I don't know. Well, I'll talk about the playoff picture in a second, because it is going to be pretty fucking crazy. I haven't even told Nick this yet, but I'm going to do pick'ems for a couple of the basically the Power 5 conferences, I'm including Cincinnati in there. Do some pick'ems for that. I don't know what the loser is going to have to do, but we'll keep it separate from the normal pick'ems, which, by the way, I won this week, and I'll get into that towards the end. So Nick's got to drink like 3 beers or some shit. So I'm on a fucking roll. Started out shitty, lost 1 in like the last 5 weeks. So your boy is killing it. So anywho, college, what else? Oklahoma State beats Oklahoma, and I didn't know Oklahoma State was doing that well this year, but they look pretty good. Upset Oklahoma. I don't even know if it was that big of an upset. Maybe kind of, but Oklahoma State only has 1 loss in the season. However, the big news in college football this week, after a really bizarre week, and obviously Bama ended up winning, but Auburn basically had that game won 10-0. And I didn't get to watch, unfortunately, because I was working, but I was keeping tabs. And then next thing you know, here comes Alabama in the last fucking minute of the game, deciding they're like, oh, we should probably start playing now, and tie this thing up. So they tie it up, and 4 overtimes later, they finally win because Auburn couldn't complete their 2-point conversion. So Bama almost suffers their second loss of the season to their rival. And now they go on to the SEC championship game against Georgia. Before I get into that, let's break down some of these the coaching changes. Lincoln Riley was the first one, probably the biggest news of the week, to decide he was going to leave Alabama and go to USC. Now, I was confused when I saw this. I thought it was fucking fake. I didn't know that. I mean, it just took a minute to really like understand what the fuck was happening, And I've watched his interview on Lincoln Riley's interview on with Joel Klatt, and then he was on Coward. He says the SEC move was not part of the reason why he decided to take the job. I'm calling bullshit on that. Again, you can never know what's going on inside someone's head, but I mean, come on, dude. If you're Lincoln Riley, right? You've been in Oklahoma for 7 years, right? As the head coach, 8 years, 7 years, 8 years. I think he's the all-time winningest coach to coach Alabama. I think it said. I could be wrong on that. Do not quote me. But it was something along those lines, which is crazy because you had Stoops before that, and he's killed it ever since he took over for Stoops. So, I mean, I don't know what his contract was with Oklahoma. I would imagine that whatever. Well, I'll get into the contract shit, the rumored for that USC is giving him, but I mean, I would like to think that Oklahoma could also give him that much money as well. They could probably match. But you got to ask, like, why? What was the catalyst to really get him to go there? And I mean, you're in the Big 12. You're on top of the Big 12 every year for the most part, and you get eyeballs every year. You get in nationally televised games. You've made it to the playoffs. Your quarterbacks that have come out the whole time he's been there are in the NFL. So it's just kind of weird, man. I mean, what could be the reason why he wanted to leave that? And I literally it has to be the only thing that changed this year was the fact that just out of nowhere, Texas and Oklahoma want to leave the Big 12 and go join the SEC. Well, what do you guys think? Like, would you want to fucking, you have this shitty I mean, it's shitty compared to, some of the other ones that we say. We always say no defense in the Big 12. That's what I kind of mean. I don't know when the last time a Big 12 has won a championship, a national championship. I can't remember. I'd have to go look it up. But you have this easier road to the playoff every year if you're in the Big 12, being Lincoln Riley in Oklahoma. And then it comes out like, hey, we're going to go join arguably the toughest conference there is in football, and you're going to have to compete year in and year out against LSU, Bama, Georgia, that top end of the SEC to be able to make the playoff. And if you're Lincoln, aren't you kind of sitting there kind of being like, man, I don't know if I want that. Like, what if we, a couple years from now, what if we just haven't even come close to winning an SEC championship, let alone playoff, and and then everybody isn't happy, and then he gets fired, and then you know what I mean. So right now, I think it's kind of in his control. USC jobs open, and like he's kind of thinking like, I mean, again, me putting myself in his shoes, like logically, it makes sense to me in terms of like, okay, USC used to be the dominant one in the Pac-12. They've been down, never really came back from those early 2000 years with Reggie Bush and Matt Leinart. It's in right where all the fucking stars live, big time high school football schools in California. There hasn't been anybody there to be able to be the guy to take all that talent in California and keep it there. And so there's some things to fucking like about USC and being the guy there. I honestly think he made a really great move because of this, and I think it's because of the SEC thing. I think he's going to do well there. I think USC is definitely going to be able to be relevant again. I don't know if they're going to go on and fucking win a natty or anything, because you're still going to have the SEC. And I tell you what, the coaching in the Big Ten is pretty big. I mean, the Big Ten right now has a chance to you know, kind of jump in the playoff again and maybe make a run. So still got a lot of work to do at USC. But it seems like the Pac-12 just keeps beating the shit out of each other. I mean, you got Utah coming out of nowhere. Utah and Oregon play this Saturday for the Pac-12 championship, and there's no reason why Utah can't beat them. I think they beat them already, didn't they? Play a couple weeks ago. I could be wrong. I think they did, because I remember texting somebody being like, Utah's just fucking up everybody." But I don't know. You back to USC. Yeah, I think Lincoln's the guy to definitely get them back on the winning track and win a Pac-12 championship at the very least. So I think it was a good move looking at Oklahoma going to the SEC. So, and then right after that, we got Brian Kelly deciding to kind of pull a move like he did when he left Cincinnati to take the Notre Dame job, bailing on his team that was going to go play an important bowl game. Now, Notre Dame's not in the playoff yet, but there's potentially they could, depending on what happens in some of these games on Saturday. I can't remember who has to lose for them to get in. I'd have to look that up. So off the top of my head, I'm not really sure what has to happen. I can look it up here in a minute. But this one, a lot of people were giving him shit because he was coming out of a recruit's house, and then the news got broke, and then he had the meeting at like 7 a.m. and it was only like 11 minutes long, and people are kind of giving him shit. And it's like, it's tough, man. I didn't know this until I saw it on some talk shows here, that because of the early signing period for recruiting, where high school athletes can sign in like this month, so like you have to get a big jump on recruiting early to be able to get some of these top recruits. So it doesn't really give any new hires or coaches, especially if you're in the playoff or fighting for the playoff, like, some of these coaches that are sought out to take over a program, a new program, time to get in there and get recruiting. I got to tell you, dude, like Lincoln Riley, for example, I don't know what Brian Kelly's rumored contract is, but I'm sure it's probably close to 100 mil. Supposedly USC is offering Lincoln Riley 110 million. So add that into the whole, like, Oklahoma joining the SEC. USC is like, "Hey, Lincoln, we're going to also offer you fucking 110 million. Oh, Brian Kelly, guess what? You want to leave Notre Dame and come to LSU and get $100 million. By the way, it's probably easier to recruit. How hard is it to recruit some kids that not only are good athletes, but also maintain a 4.0 GPA? Come to LSU, you fucking, you got to average a 2.5 to get on the field? Fucking sold. Easy. Be some underachievers and academically and studs in the football field, dude. That's what I'm fucking going after. That's what I'd want. Right? I mean, how many kids are even fucking religious like that anymore? Like, where do you find them? That want to fucking go maintain a 4.0 and do all that academic shit and play football at the same time. Hey, it's impressive. Don't get me wrong. It's great. But this day and age, I feel like maybe I'm out of pocket here. I don't know. I'm just guessing that this isn't the 1980s anymore. Okay, I'm talking to you, diehard Notre Dame fans, who like, we played the fucking best people ever. You don't, not anymore, because things change and the teams that you still play aren't as good as they once were. So that's just what it is. So I don't know. I'm sure, again, there probably more behind the scenes of why Brian Kelly decided he wanted to leave. I mean, he's won more. Maybe I was getting him mixed up with Lincoln Riley. I think Brian Kelly has won. Here's another reason why he probably went to LSU. He's won the most games at Notre Dame than any coach. I think that's what it was. I think I was mixing them up because Stoops was in fucking Oklahoma for a while. So I doubt Lincoln Riley in fucking 7 years could beat that. But Notre Dame's not in a conference, right? So they're hurt. It takes a lot for them to get into the playoff because supposedly, we've seen the committee kind of fuck this up. You have to win your conference. That's like one of the prerequisites to get into the college football playoff. And you can't do that when you're independent. So, and Notre Dame's not going to join a conference because I just found this out this year, but NBC gives them a fuck ton of money to be on TV, and they don't have to split that with anybody in a conference. So they get so much. And my manager at my restaurant is a diehard Notre Dame fan. And apparently Notre Dame, just for like their football team, they just have money sitting there, right? And it's something absurd. Like they'll never spend it. It's like, this sounds like a big number. I think he said $2 billion. Again, don't quote my numbers. Maybe I heard it wrong. He told me over the weekend. I don't know. I just know it was a big fucking number. And he might have said billion. He also could have said million, but 2 million doesn't sound like a lot of money in terms of a football program like Notre Dame. So I feel like they're sitting on 2 billion. I don't know. Don't quote me. But needless to say, Brian Kelly, the LSU, a lot of people are shitting on him for leaving like that. But again, dude, early signing periods. He's got to go down there. He's competing with Bama, even more so to get talent there. And you got to fucking go right away. So I can't blame these coaches for taking these massive paydays and then needing to get to work right away to recruit the kids to play for the following year. Money talks, dude. You telling me if you're in a fucking good job and you're making, let's put it in normal people terms. It's hard to fathom fucking $100 million. Say you're making 60 grand a year and you like your job, you're like, this is fucking great. Like, I don't ever see myself leaving. Maybe I'll move up to the top one day, blah, blah, blah. And then a similar role opens up somewhere else, a recruiter finds you or something. And they're like, hey, it's, this job's going to pay you 100 grand. You telling me you're not going to fucking leave your nice job that you fucking love to go take that fucking $100,000 to do the same job at a different company? You're out of your fucking mind, dude. You're taking it. You're taking the extra 40 grand. You're just doing it. Like, why wouldn't you? Stupid, right? Same thing with these coaches, dude. These fucking money gets thrown at them. And they're like, all right, well, I got to think about this. You know what I mean? Like, might have to talk to the fan, but fuck, dude. Like, I mean, 110 million, dude, to go coach at USC, to go coach at LSU, who just won a natty, 2 years ago? No brainer, dude. What are we doing? Like, I understand the fans of those teams getting pissed off because they're emotionally invested in their team, but like, Oklahoma, you're going to be fine. You're going to find somebody else. I mean, you're probably still going to be pretty good. Not in the SEC or not. You might beat Texas. That's cool. Brian Kelly, LSU, again, SEC. Yeah, you're going to have to compete with Saban and everything, and Georgia. But, Brian Kelly's got a big name, and I think he'll be able to recruit out there. So I'm just saying, man, everybody does have a price to an extent, and we'll see what happens. Now, Notre Dame, I don't know what they do. I don't know who they're going to go out and get. They're rumored Fickle from Cincinnati. Of course, he's going to wait, I believe, to and from what I've heard, Notre Dame's willing to wait on him. Problem is, I mean, Cincinnati might get screwed out of the playoff, whether they win or not, and here's why. So we got Oregon at Utah for the Pac-12 championship. The Big 12 championship is going to be Baylor at Oklahoma State, which I think Oklahoma State's going to win. They've lost one game, I believe. And you got Georgia at Bama. Well, I think these are all played at neutral sites, though. So Bama would technically be the home team. But Houston, Cincinnati, and then Michigan and Iowa, right? Oh, man. So I'm going to bet this week on all these games. And, the only way you win money is by betting the fucking upsets, right? So for shits and gigs, I'm going to do a couple, right? I got to try and cover my ass, right? I'm going to do one with Michigan winning, but I'm also going to do one with Iowa winning. And Bama, by the way. And I can break that down too. This might be a long solo fucking episode, let me tell you, because I got shits to say. We're gonna look over a little schedule, and you tell me if you're as big on Georgia in this game. And I understand Bama probably should have lost to Florida early in the year. Probably should have lost to Auburn, but guess what? They did. They found a way to win because that's what a well-coached football team does, right? With a young quarterback. But here's my thing. I think Cincinnati might get fucked over because we don't know what's going to happen Saturday, right? Anything can happen, especially with these games. Like, let's say Bama wins the SEC championship and beats Georgia. Do you not think that the committee is going to be like, all right, well, Georgia and Bama are probably two of the best fucking teams in college football. So, I mean, we're going to have to throw Bama in and Georgia in to the playoff. Who gets bumped out? I think you take now, maybe it depends if Iowa upsets Michigan because they got 2 losses. I don't know. Michigan only has 1 loss to Michigan State. So, Oklahoma State will definitely probably get in there. Big 12. Maybe they take Iowa if they win. Then maybe Cincinnati gets in. But if Michigan wins, Michigan's in, right? It's Michigan. And then if Bama wins, I feel like it's going to be Bama, Georgia, and Oklahoma State. Now, I think Pac-12 might get screwed out of that as well. But you might think, well, why would Bama get in? You just said that there's requirements and you got to win your division. Well, we saw it with Ohio State. I forget what year that was, 2016, where they didn't win the Big Ten championship late in the season. They choked to fucking Penn State, and the committee still put Ohio State in there. And even as an Ohio State fan, I didn't like that because I'm like, they're not the best team. They didn't win that national championship. They lost to fucking Penn State. Penn State won the Big Ten that year, I think, and they should have went based on the committee's rulings and who they thought was, who was supposed to make the playoff based on winning your conference championship, the number one thing, right? So Ohio State gets put in there, right? I think that's the only. I feel like that happened to Bama. I can't remember, but yeah, like so if they've done it before in the past, then why wouldn't they put Bama, a 1-loss Bama team, into who just won the SEC championship over Georgia, who has been won all year and just running through teams. I think defensively, I'll pull up their schedule in a minute, but I don't think anybody scored more than like 17 points or some shit over Georgia. I'll pull it up. But it's a really low number. I can't remember what it is. I was just discussing it with somebody the other day. But if Bama wins that, I mean, they're not going to just, especially if it's a close game, I think they still put Georgia in, even if they don't win the SEC championship, because technically Bama would be the SEC champions. So I still think they'll throw Georgia in there then in that case, if Bama wins this week. So yeah, I mean, Cincinnati could win out here and they still might get screwed over. If that's the case, we'll see if Notre Dame tries to get a hold of Fickell. And again, we'd like to say that, Fickell's turned that program around and, why would he want to leave? Well, Cincinnati is a smaller conference, as you can see, potentially could get snubbed into the playoff or out of the playoff. So maybe he decides he wants to go to a program like Notre Dame that's well known and still a very traditional place and big time football school. Maybe he's a guy that's interested in that in filling that role. So, and then Notre Dame sits around, like I just told you, they got a fuck ton of money they're sitting on, and maybe they pay him fucking $100 million. I don't know, but if you're Fickell, it's probably going to be double than what you're making now at Cincinnati. Same thing that happened to what's his face from Michigan State. Colorado couldn't afford him and anymore, so he went to the Big Ten, and Michigan State was like, we got that money, and Colorado doesn't. So come here, coach us, and 2 years later, he's getting an extension already, big time money. So, and he hasn't won anything yet. So, it's just the nature of the beast, man. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But for these pick'ems, what I'm going to do is I'm picking it up. I'm fucking upset city weekend. Okay. I think Oregon's going to lose. I think Utah is going to take it, man. I think they're going to beat Oregon. And I don't know what it is, dude. The Mormons are just, I don't know if obviously you got BYU. I don't know what the Mormon ratio is on this Utah school, but I would imagine there's probably, the BYU rejects or something. I don't know. But, I think Utah's going to get it done there. I think Oklahoma State is going to beat Baylor. They looked pretty good last week. But who knows, dude? Baylor upset, or didn't they beat Oklahoma? They were the first ones to do it. It could be a close game, but I'm going to go Oklahoma State. And I think Gundy gets that win. Georgia at Bama. I already told you, dude. I'm going Georgia. Or sorry, I lied. Bama. I'm taking the underdog in this game, which when is Bama ever the underdog? Interesting, right? And then I'm going Cincy. That's a favorite. Cincy over Houston. And I'm fucking taking Iowa. Iowa on the upset. I know everyone's thinking, hey, he's an Ohio State fan. He's just picking Iowa because he doesn't want Michigan to win. No. Actually, I'm the opposite. Again, I said football fan first. You know what I mean? Do I hate Michigan? Yeah, I think their colors look like fucking booty hole, and they're the rival. But if they make the college football playoff, it only helps the Big Ten. That's the team that the Big Ten has, and that's the one that everybody, no matter if you're an Ohio State fan, or whatever, Wisconsin, Penn State, doesn't matter. Like, you should be rooting for the Big Ten to do well. So what would I do if Michigan won Natty this year? Cool. A lot of the Michigan friends I have will get a year of bragging, and then next year they can go to getting shit stopped, and OSU can take their streak back. Right, that is what it is. So those are my picks this week for that. I don't know what the outcome is going to be. I just know I've been on a roll lately versus Nick, so I'm going to see what Nick's picks are, and then we'll decide what is the loser's going to do, because I want to keep that separate from the normal picks. So a lot of college football talk today because it was just a crazy fucking week, and it just had to be discussed, man. So I don't have a ton of NFL stuff down here. Before I move on to some NFL stuff, let me pull up. What was I going to do? Oh, yeah. I was going to pull up Georgia's schedule. Okay. In week 1, they open up and they end up beating Clemson 10-3. Now, Clemson fell off big time in the early part of the season. They were definitely not what they used to be, right? I believe Clemson was obviously ranked at that time. And then, wait, do I got this right? Hang on. No, yeah, that's right. 2021 schedule. Okay. Then, they played UAB, beat the shit out of them 56-7. Who the fuck is that? South Carolina 40-13. Vanderbilt 62-0. Arkansas had a good run there for a minute, and then they kind of phased out a little bit. I think they're still a solid team though. 37-0. They beat Auburn 34-10. That was some weeks ago though. Auburn obviously almost beat Bama. You got to look at it game by game, because look at Michigan State beating Michigan and then Ohio State beating the shit out of them. So it just depends. That's why you play the games, right? Can't go by like this team beat this team at this point in time. It doesn't matter. Each game is different, right? So Auburn 34-10. They beat Kentucky 30-13. Florida 34-7. Mizzou 43-6. Tennessee 41-17. It was 17 points. Yeah, the 17 points is the most that's been scored on them. And then I can't even tell you that there's some school that shouldn't be playing them at week 10 or whatever we're in. And then they just beat Georgia Tech 45-0. So technically the only ranked team, I don't know what the rankings are right now because I don't have them in front of me, that they played all year was technically Clemson week 1 of the season. Everybody else, I mean, is at the bottom end of the SEC. You know what I mean? So look, man, I mean, am I saying Georgia's not good? definitely not what I'm saying at all. What I am saying though is going into this Bama game, it's not gonna Bama's still gonna be tougher than anybody they've played all year, and despite Bama being human now, they are still well coached, still here, fighting for an SEC championship and going to the playoffs. So like, despite how much maybe they've struggled this year compared to other years, they're still in it. So you can't count them out, right? So yeah, I think that game's going to be really good. Can't wait to see the outcome of that. Moving on to NFL. What do I want to talk about with the NFL? It was Thanksgiving week, right? By the way, Thanksgiving, woo! I worked, biggest holiday of the year for us. We did 2,600 dinners. It was fucking insane. I didn't stop moving at all. It was a long day. I tried to get some of the games on. I think I caught the shit game, the Chicago-Detroit game, which all my parlays sucked again this week. I had Detroit. I thought they were going to get the fucking win there, and Chicago pulled a hat trick out of their asshole, and I lost that game. So Detroit, man, they're so close. I think the fact that they're so close that they're not going to go 0-16, I think they're going to upset somebody soon. I just don't know who it is. I'm trying to predict it, and I just don't know. I don't know who's going to choke against them. Speaking of choking, fucking Dallas, man. I didn't get to watch that game obviously because I was working, but overtime, Raiders get the win 36-33. I don't know what's going on in Dallas. I think I read McCarthy has COVID, so I don't even know if he'll be coaching this Thursday because they played the Thursday night game against the Saints. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on with them. I know they're banged up. I know CeeDee Lamb's out and Cooper's out, and but they need to get. This is like the time where the Cowboys want to do anything in the playoffs and make the playoffs. They got to fucking start playing some ball. And they play New Orleans, who I think is on their worst losing streak since 2011, I believe. I think I'm throwing out all these stats, and I don't even know if they're 100% accurate. So when I throw some dumb shit out like this, probably look it up and double check because I'm just spitballing out my fucking beehole. Okay. But I think the Saints have lost 5 in a row. I saw they're starting Tyson, whatever. Chicken Hill. These Thursday night games are crazy, dude. I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, somebody's got to lose again. Is it going to be the Saints or is it going to be the Cowboys? Whew. I might pick the Saints just to I don't know. And then Buffalo gets back on track with 31-6 win. Any surprises this week? Well, that's kind of why I lost some of my bets. Like the Giants just happened to beat a red hot, but they've put a winning streak together. The Eagles, divisional game, and New York ends up beating them 13-7. It's like, well, what the fuck? What happened? Who else? Oh, you got to be shitting me. The Jets. I didn't know the Jets beat Houston. I'm just now seeing that. I might have screwed up. I think I still beat Nick, but let me double check this. One, two. I still won. Got nervous there for a second. Shit. I don't know what's going on with the Chargers, man. Chargers have been kind of. I'll talk a little bit. No, not that division. Different division. NFC. Which one are the Cardinals in? I don't even know. But yeah, I don't know. Chargers need to get their shit together. Denver beats them. Well, I'd say the Rams are struggling more than anybody. They definitely got to get their shit together. Stafford has thrown sixes. Did he throw a pick six? He's thrown some picks the last few games, man. I don't know. Something's going on with the Rams. You have I see. I can't even talk. I'm like speechless. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what's going on with them. I bet on them, and they keep fucking me. And then another thing who keeps fucking me is I bet since San Francisco a couple times early in the season, and when they lost fucking like 3 home games back to back, I'm like, it's like San Francisco doesn't get home field advantage. Like they can't win, but now they're winning. They're putting it together. Something's coming together with that team. They started out really bad, and now they're starting to play well. You picked a hell of a time, so we'll see if they can continue their hot streak. That's a team to kind of look out for. Let's see. Washington holds off Seattle. That game was kind of crazy. I don't know if you watched that. Seattle looks like fucking dog shit. Again, I'm going to talk about the division, so I'll probably cover a little bit more on Seattle here in a minute. Green Bay's looking good. New England. I mean, dude, this is a big game this week. I think they play the Bills. They're on a win streak, and I got to see where that game's at and like what the weather's like, because that's going to play a role. Miami beats the shutout Carolina. Fucking Cam Newton bench, dude. You guys see his fucking stats, dude? 5 for 20. I mean, we can't be too surprised. I mean, he did well coming in and playing a little bit when they picked him up, and then they started him so fast. It's like, dude, I understand even though it's the playbook a little, but let's be honest, like he probably doesn't know it that much. There's probably a lot of shit. You know, it's just a lot. Like so, that's pretty brutal. How could I fucking pass Cincinnati beating the shit out of Pittsburgh? 41-10. Dude, I'll mix in the Cincy rant with, because obviously, you know, solo podcast, Browns fan, you know, I feel like I'm talking about him every week, but I got to shit on him some more, you know, like, well, oh, by the way, Tampa Bay Indy game, great fucking game. Indy had it back and forth. You know, what can I say? I still think the Colts are going to be there. I think they're just going to go deep into the playoffs. I think they can definitely upset any of them. That might be a Super Bowl fucking preview. We just watched that game over the weekend. So, there's so much to talk about. I feel like I'm just gonna keep going. I don't know. Let me do my fucking Browns rant really quick, okay? And then talk about some AFC North shit, Cincinnati, everybody. Browns Ravens, dude. Sunday night game, right? Prime time. These two, for whatever reason, play each other tough. The last couple of years. This one was a lot more boring than last year. Oh my god, dude. There's so many stats coming out. Fucking, where do I begin? Here's what drives me nuts and probably drove a lot of Browns fans nuts during that game. The fact that the defense played pretty well and held Lamar Jackson as like they did. Let me tell you, JOK, drafting him, that dude flying around the field, he is a fucking monster. Like they drafted him for the sole purpose to play a team like Baltimore and slow down Lamar Jackson, and he did a really good job. You know, 4 turnovers, dude. I had it in I'm gonna fucking pull this up. I'm not doing between the tweets, but I'll look up some of the shit that I shared here. One of the stats that was interesting. The Browns are the first team in NFL history to lose when scoring 40 plus points with 500 yards offense. Oh wait, that's old. 0 turnovers and lose. Oh, because this is from when they played the Chargers. So they're the first team in history to lose when scoring 40 plus points with 500 yards and 0 turnovers in the game, and lose when getting 4 interceptions in the game in the same season. And I think here's another fucking loose stat I'm about to throw out. Oh yeah, since 2015. No, this is legit. I got it right here in writing. Starting QBs are 0-37 when throwing 4 interceptions in a game. And that was broken because Lamar Jackson did. He won despite having 4 picks. I mean, dude, I don't know, man. I don't know. I got a lot to say here. I kind of touched on it last week. I didn't buy the media one bit. Before the game, everybody's like, oh, everybody in the Browns are saying that this is the best week that Baker's had, healthiest he's felt since the injuries, blah, blah, blah. Bullshit. Bullshit detector, dude, all the way up in the fucking red. Okay. We all know that was bullshit, right? His shoulder's torn, his heel's fucked, his knee's fucked, right? He's probably spending most of the week trying to just feel somewhat okay. And then we go into the game and you're playing full speed and he's fucking limping around. And I can't wait tomorrow. Kurt Warner's going to do a video talking about why it isn't just all on Baker. That's fair. I'm sure I've seen people talking about how like receivers weren't getting any separation and getting open. Cool. And I know like some Browns fans are like, quit, we're look at our long list of quarterbacks. You guys want to get rid of Baker. And I'm not saying that yet necessarily. I mean, you have another year. I understand he's injured. Here's my fucking issue. And I said it last week. I'm gonna say it again, dude. The Detroit game was the perfect time to let Baker sit out. That's on coaching, dude. Like Stefanski, they asked him kind of about that, and he kind of played it off like, like why would we do that? Man, I don't know, man. Maybe because like your quarterback's just fucking limping all over the place, and and you're gonna call a quarterback sneak. I mean, we got the first down, but hey, let's run a QB sneak with our one-legged and one shoulder fucking quarterback and just hope that he doesn't break his other shoulder. Like, I mean, I just don't get it. I mean, look, Baker's tough. That's cool. You know what I mean? Like, but it doesn't necessarily make you win games either. You know what I mean? He's too tough for his own good. I said this last week. Like, the coaching staff has to be the ones that be like, hey, let's. And did I share this? It's on my phone. Look, here. I'll prove my fucking point even more so. Oh, this drives me nuts. All right. Here's the problem. Okay. Maybe I did say this last week. I don't know if this was last week. Okay. Browns, Vikings. Okay. Browns went 14-7. This is over 9. This is 9 games. The last 9 games for all you Browns fans that think we're just going to string fucking 5 wins together. 2 of them being against the Raiders. Who knows what you're going to get? But the Raiders and Green Bay. Think you're going to beat Green Bay? You think you're going to beat the Ravens after this bye week at home? I don't know. I doubt it. If they fucking come playing like last time, I don't know. So 14-7. Okay. Then Browns Chargers game, the crazy game where the Browns put up 42 points and end up losing. Okay. They score 14 against the Cardinals, beat the Broncos with Case Keenum scoring 17 points, which, by the way, is the most points the Browns have fucking scored since then. Okay. 10-15. They lost to the Steelers. And then they have that game where they just put up. I'm sorry. They did score 41 against the Bengals. But then that, again, that came out of their ass too. And then they scored 7-45 versus Patriots, 10-13 against the Lions, and then the 16-10 game. So besides the Chargers game and the Bengals game, the most the Browns have scored is 17 points. Do you think that Case Keenum can get you at least 17 points, run the offense efficient enough to like get you? Because I mean, here's the thing. Like, I understand Baker's the guy, but like 10 points, 7 points, like it's a problem. Okay. I understand there's probably other issues going on, the receiver stuff. But like, dude, Baker can barely fucking move. And then he's rolling outside the pocket. If he rolls to the left, he usually runs. He doesn't throw. I do think that he's probably not seeing shit. I mean, I did share a couple things where there were some open people again. I just think the injuries are taking a toll, man. And like, he's not going to be healthy at all the rest of the season. Like, he needs surgery. So you have this backup you're paying a lot of fucking money for. And everybody's like, oh, Keenum's not the answer. Okay, but like, that's fine. But we're not making the playoffs this year. I know that sounds super fucking negative, but like, it's just not happening. They're not gonna win out. Yeah, that was the last 9 weeks of the scores I just read you. There's no indication at all that the Browns are going to be able to win win out, right? Let alone, I mean, who knows if they fucking pump Cincinnati again. You know what I mean? I understand that was in Cincy, but like, I mean, dude, I don't know, or the Steelers. I mean, maybe you win those two. It just all depends. Like if you can somehow beat the Ravens coming off this bye, maybe you have a shot, but like it's just too much inconsistency, right? And I just think Baker's too hurt. Like there's not one point even after those 4 interceptions last week where I just felt like we were going to go down and take over the game. When we're in offense, it just doesn't feel like that. And I know there's the other fucking Browns crowd that's bitching about like, oh, why aren't we running the football? Oh, I don't know, because the fucking Ravens were stacking the box with everybody. So look, we're a good running football team. Chubb's a beast, Hunt's a beast. But whenever, and I've said this the last how many weeks, that nobody respects our pass game. And when you don't respect the pass game, because why should they? And you stack the box and stop the run, that's how confident they were. They were able to stack the box and play us that way because they're like, hey, just go ahead and throw it. Like we're good. Like we think we can match up well against your passing because like it's very vanilla, right? And they were able to shut it down. Here's the thing, guys, running the football is our strength. That's cool, but we still have to throw the football. And Baker can't do that right now because he's fucking hurt, right? And it's showing. So like a lot of Browns fans that are really emotional in terms of like, oh, you want to replace Baker and get rid of him. I don't think it's that. I don't think the people that are on kind of my side are like, hey, he needs to sit out. We're not necessarily saying like get rid of him. You know what I mean? I'm also not saying with pay him a fuck ton of money right now because he did get injured and like we don't know what if he gets injured next year. We don't know. Like he could ball out next year. Again, you're kind of betting on fucking nothing. So but you best believe the only thing I'd be open to, because there's no other options. I know some people are saying Russell Wilson, whatever. The only thing that I would give up Baker for next season would be as if Deshaun Watson wasn't in trouble, like if they settled or whatnot and he's able to play and then the Houston traded him, I would totally take Deshaun Watson and send Baker to fucking Houston or whatever they got to do. Like who wouldn't take Deshaun Watson on their team? Okay. I mean, come on. Like Browns fans would do that. Okay. Like don't act like you wouldn't. But that would change a lot of things because Baker definitely isn't Deshaun Watson. We're talking about one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the league. That's to be seen, though. We don't know what's going to happen with that. But it's fair to criticize your team. It's fair to criticize the Browns. Browns fans are so scared of sucking again that they don't want to critique anything. But like I've said it over and over and over again, dude. There's a new standard, right? And you're supposed to be improving every year. So we draft Baker. Dorsey puts some pieces together. We start winning. Boom. Baker's rookie year. I can't remember what were we 9-7 or 7-9 or some shit. Still entertaining year. And then you had that down year when we had the wrong head coach in there. And Freddie Kitchens, who, by the way, called plays for the Giants this week. And then, year 3, make the playoffs, right? Take the big jump, make the playoffs, finish the year strong. Of course, we have high expectations for this year because we're supposed to be getting better each year. You know what I mean? But not making the playoffs is a step backwards. And as far as I'm concerned, I understand things happen. I understand injuries happen. But, we're taking a major step backwards this year. And I think some of it's coaching as well. Like Stefanski, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, besides last year, I think it was his first full year calling plays, right? So in Minnesota, he took over calling plays, not even for the full season. So he didn't even have that much experience as a play caller to begin with. And now he's the head coach and he's kind of got an ego because, well, I don't know, why wouldn't you when you're kind of in that position of power where it's going to be hard for him to give up the play calling duties. But it would be nice to see if it would make a difference if Van Pelt did call plays. At some point he's got to look at himself and be like, all right, I'm doing kind of a shitty job. Like obviously we're scoring 10 points a game and that's not enough, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. It doesn't look like they're going to fucking sit Baker down. Baker's probably just going to have to fucking break something else for them to fucking get in there. So again, we'll see what happens next game. But yeah, and people are bitching about the receivers. I mean, dude, who's to say that fucking Landry even stays with the Browns this year coming up? Probably gonna have to draft a guy, even though rookie receivers aren't, pan out. They take for whatever reason. A lot of them. I mean, unless you're Jamar Chase this year. He's kind of like the first one, but I don't know what they're going to do. You know what I mean? I think it's going to be hard to keep Landry here. I think he might go test the water somewhere else because who knows what's going on behind the scenes. But yeah, it's frustrating, man. It is frustrating this year, this season. And then you look at the AFC North, like Cincinnati, dude. Like, yes, we beat Cincinnati, beat the shit out of them, but like their record's better right now, and there's a chance for Cincinnati to beat us and finish higher in the division and potentially make a playoff push. But think about this for a second. Like, we're in what, Baker's 4th year, and look where we're at, kind of taking steps backwards. And as bad as Cincinnati was last year and the year before, like look at the turnaround they've had in one fucking year, right? Like, I don't think it's going to slow down. They're gonna build around that team more. They already have the receiver and the quarterback. They're going to add some more in the running back. They're going to add some more pieces of the offensive line. They're going to be tough to fucking beat, and it's only been one off season. So I think Browns fans should be fucking pissed, actually, a little bit. That they've been able to turn the corner so fast, right? And the Ravens, honestly, right now, I don't think they're that good. Yeah, their record, they're number 1, I think, in the AFC. Could be wrong. But they're beatable. You know, there's so many games where they came from behind and win. Like, I think they're gonna kind of fall off a little bit, like the Steelers did last year. You know, so dude, there's Browns fans. I'm sorry, there's a really good possibility that we can end up last in the division this year. And if we end up last in the division, I mean, something's got to change. Something's got to happen. You know, because we have talent here. It's not like there's no talent. You know, so I don't know. I there's a really good chance that Cincinnati can win this division, which is funny as shit because they've already beaten the Ravens once. So I don't know, dude. Seeing the AFC North play out is going to be interesting. But you know, with that being said, the Browns aren't the only team that's struggling. The Rams are struggling big time. I think Stafford, I don't know, man. He just been throwing some stupid picks. OBJ got his first touchdown over the weekend, which was cool to see. Dude, that's the other division I wanted to talk about. Because the Cardinals should have an easy run, I think. And by the way, I'm buying a Cardinals jersey. I am jumping on the fucking bandwagon because I live in Arizona now, and you know, I'm kind of sick of being let down by the Browns. So I might as well fucking wear some colors I like: red, black, and white. Kind of my high school colors to an extent. Add the black in there. But yeah, I mean, they're playing really well. They got to play the Rams here soon, but their schedule remaining, I think, is pretty favorable. The Seahawks are pretty shitty. 49ers are playing well, but I thought the Cardinals already play. I don't know if where's the Cardinals remaining schedule? Let me look here off the top of my dome. Cardinals schedule. I don't know why I'm looking on my phone. There we go. They got the Bears this week, win. And they got the Rams, and they got the Lions. Let's see what else. Colts will be a tough game. And then the Cowboys and the Seahawks. I mean, worst case scenario, I see the Cardinals going. They might only lose once during the rest of the season. Like, Cardinals are in a really good spot. Yeah, man. I just think you know, I mean, the Rams will probably make the playoffs. You know, they're still like a good team, but they are kind of nosediving a little bit. Seahawks, man, like a lot of Browns fans are wanting Russell Wilson, but he's not looking that good right now. I don't even know how old he is, dude. He's been in the league a while, right? But he does fit our system, you know. But I doubt the Seahawks are going to willing to let him go. But we'll see. I mean, Pete Carroll's a guy he's getting older, dude. He might step down or be fired this year. You know, they might clean house over there. We don't really know yet, but something's definitely going on with the Seahawks. Other than that, man, I think I already said Tyson Hill starting for the Saints. That was another note that I had down here. Crazy week of football, dude. Crazy week. Oh, by the way, speaking of, I don't know if anybody out there has been watching, but speaking of the Colts and the Tampa game, I'm gonna go back and touch on that for a second because you know, if you were a fan of Training Camp and Hard Knocks released an in-season Hard Knocks that features the Colts, and it's pretty dope. Actually, today's Wednesday. It comes out probably out right now or in a couple hours. But I think it's so much better than the regular Hard Knocks with Training Camp because you're seeing it live in season, and the story is just so much better, I think, personally. Um, and it's just really cool. So hopefully they keep that going. And I can't wait for tonight's episode because they had that hard battle against Tampa Bay. But I still think the Colts are a team that are going to be there. They're built pretty well in the AFC. Still not jumping on the Kansas City bandwagon yet. Should I get these pick'ems? Because I've been talking my fucking word curtain. I don't know where I was going with that. I was gonna talk shit about my fucking mouth, basically. Let's see here. Yeah, let's get in these pick'ems. We're gonna do that. Dallas and Saints play on Thursday night. Damn, this is a tough one. Where's my pen? Or it's by my dick. Dallas Saints, dude. I'm gonna bet some more money this week, and I lost a lot this past week. So I got to try and win some back. Isn't that how it always goes? If I lose this week, I'm done. Done for the season. I'm shutting her down because I just am struggling. I went in here in the pick'ems from this podcast, but I don't win on the ones that I bet. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I see the numbers. I'm like, oh, I could win this. Picking the risky picks. I don't know what it is. Enough talking. Pick the fucking game. Okay, you know what? I'm going with Saints for the upset. Tyson Hill, dude, he's gonna have he's just gonna fucking run the ball the whole time, and Dallas should win this game, but I don't know why I'm picking Saints. Tampa Bay, I ain't even gotta go over that one. Tampa Bay isn't losing to the Falcons. Cardinals, Bears, easy Cardinals all day. Nagy needs to be fired at some point. What do we got here? Hang on. Oh, Chargers and Cincy. I think Cincy's going to keep it rolling. I could be biased there, but I just think the Chargers have fucked me over enough to the point where I can't pick them. Minnesota, Detroit. I don't think Minnesota is going to suck it up bad enough for Detroit to get their first win. Just don't see it. I'm going to tell you. Prediction time. Let's see what Detroit has for the remainder of the season. Let's see if I can predict the win of the Lions. Okay, they ain't going 0-16. Falcons, December 26th, day after Christmas. The Lions, I think, beat the shit. Not the shit, but I feel like they get Seahawks, dude. They could win back to back, dude. They could beat the Falcons and then beat the Seahawks. You heard it here first, dude. I'm clipping that. You heard it here. Lions get 2 wins this year. Falcons and Seahawks to close it, and then get actually maybe 3. They might beat the Packers because the Packers at the end of the season are clearly going to rest everybody because they're going to be easy run to the playoffs. So, dude, they might win 3 in a row because 2 of the teams they're playing are dog shit as well as they are. And then you get the backups and Jordan Love for the Packers. So there you go. You heard it here first. End the season strong, Detroit. Fuck yourself out of that number 1 pick. Rant end. Okay, Giants, Miami. I know the Giants kind of got a big win last week, but I think Miami is going to keep it going, and Tua is looking to do a little better. Jets, they get a win last week, and the Eagles kind of struggled, but I think the Eagles bounce back and beat the Jets. I think the Colts easily beat the shit out of the Texans and fucking wipe their asses with their bodies. Redskins, Raiders, shit. I mean, I don't know what Raiders team is going to show. Ooh, I tell you what, dude, I picked up in fantasy. I was forced to pick up a quarterback because uh, what's his face? Am I drawing a blank? My homies was on a bye, so I had to pick up Heineke, and he did pretty well for me. I can't complain. Ended up winning that in that league. I'm stalling because I don't know who to pick here. God damn it. Oh, Raiders. I don't know why. Jags, Rams. I think Rams bounce back. You fucking better, dude. Because if you lose to the Jags, I'm going to headbutt concrete. Ravens, Pittsburgh. I'm going Ravens. I think Pitt's kind of hurting right now. It would help us out if Pittsburgh beat the shit out of them. So I'm kind of rooting for Pittsburgh. You heard it. Browns fan rooting for Pittsburgh to beat the shit out of the Ravens, to really fuck up shit in the AFC North. 49ers, Seahawks. Seahawks are asshole. So 49ers it is. Denver, KC. I think Kansas City's going to get that one. New England, Buffalo. Nick's not here to talk about this, but he did text me literally before the Sunday games this week and wanted me to look at the line for Buffalo and New England. And he wants to bet $100 on New England because Nick always bets against the Bills because he thinks when he does bet on them, they lose. Superstitious. Totally get it. We'll see if he actually, if he ends up doing it or not. I don't even know what the line's at now. I'd have to look it up. This is a big game, dude, because this is going to not only decide. I mean, New England's already leading that division, right? So if Buffalo does not play their best game and ends up losing to New England, it just changes so much, I think, in that division and the whole AFC. The AFC. Oh, I think New England's won 5 in a row. Again, my loosely, maybe non-factual stats that I just fucking dump out of my mouth. There's another one. I gotta create a nickname of just the shit that I say on here because I'm just like, I think I saw this somewhere. I don't know if it's accurate. I'm spitting it back at like maybe 50% truth. So I don't know. But I just know New England has been defensively strong, which they're always been kind of a defensively strong team. And Buffalo's been kind of struggling. So it's at Buffalo. Let me look up something else. Let me look up the weather in Buffalo for that game because Sunday, 45 degrees and rain, huh? That's what they're predicting. I looked that up because obviously New England's built a certain way. They're what the Browns should look like with the way they run the football and Mac Jones kind of doing what he needs to do to make the offense run and not make any mistakes and just kind of wear teams down. Now, I want to pick Buffalo so bad, but something in me is leaning towards New England. I think for the sake of this podcast and Nick being a Buffalo fan, I'm gonna fucking pick Buffalo because I know he's gonna pick New England, and that's what I'm gonna do. And the points that I'm gonna pick that game at is going to be. I gotta see what the over/under is in this game. Let's check the odds. Fuck it, because Nick wants to bet on it. We're gonna see what these odds are anyway. Let's go. Damn. It actually went down. I think the Patriots were favored by 3.5. Now it's 2.5. Over under 42.5. So I could see this game. New England's got a pretty good defense. You know what? I think I'm gonna pick 45. I might adjust that. It just depends on what Nick picks. And yeah, dude. So those are my picks. We'll have to maybe just post some content on the TikToks and the and Twitter on what Nick picks. I'll get them here soon. and then I'll decide what we're gonna do for the college games. It's got to be something good, and then I'll post something to the TikTok when I find out what that is. You can follow us at AJXO Pod on both platforms. And yeah, man. Whew, what a day. What a day. Let me tell you something. It's a skill, and your boy's got it. To talk. I don't even know how long I've been going. This long, solo. But I don't know what it is, dude. I could just rant for a long time. But I feel like I do that a lot. I spit bullshit with stats, and then I go, but we're here. We're making it happen. It's it's a thing. I don't know, but I enjoy it. I had a good time. Today. It was a good day. I bought a car, right? We're supposed to not be here till Monday, and they called me and was like, "Hey, it's actually coming today. You can pick it up tomorrow." And I'm like, "Well, shit, that's freaking dope." Because if you know me, I have fucking car issues all the time, and I'm sick of it. So I got a brand new fucking 2022 whip. Kia stepping that game up, son. They rebranded their logo. Looks dope. I saw one driving the one day. I'm like, what is that? I can't tell what that is. And then I discovered, I was like, oh, Kia fucking being like, hey, dude, we're gonna jump in this car market, and we're gonna take this bitch over. That's what they said. So they told me, they're like, hey, you see that? These are our new sexy cars, dude. And we're just a matter of time before we take over this industry. I was like, I feel which I'm picking up what you guys are putting down. Actually, I got the K5 is what it's called. It's like a kind of a sportier car that they got line. It's fucking sick. It's got some high tech in there. I'm test driving this thing today, and the dude's like, hey, when you go over 40 miles per hour, you can take your hand off the wheel. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, it can tell when you're in the lines. As long as you're above 40 miles per hour, it'll shut off if you go under. But yeah, go ahead, test it out. He's like, take your hand off the wheel. And slowly I'm gripping the wheel, and I'm like, one hand goes off, and the other one, I'm like, not really wanting to let go. He's like, no, go ahead, do it. Try it. I'm like this, kind of just, I believe you. It's cool. This tech's cool. I kind of want to have my fucking hand on the wheel though. It's dope, but it's still sketchy. Okay. It's kind of new to me. I'm not used to this. I'm used to fucking shifting gears and shit. And you're wanting me to take my hands off the wheel and let this bitch drive itself. Okay. I like the feature, but kind of creeps me out a little bit. But anywho, it was fucking sweet. Should get that maybe tomorrow. We'll see what happens, because I wanted to throw some extra money down. I don't want to get details, but we'll see. Your boy could be rolling around a new whip as soon as mañana. Oh, I just felt like I needed to share that. I don't know why. Nobody's even gonna listen to this. I got like fucking nobody. Yeah. But that's cool. I'm learning a skill. I'm growing a skill, and that's me talking nonstop about sports and now just general bullshit. But hey, general bullshit stats. What are you gonna do? Yeah. So tune in next week to another episode of the Average Joe's Knows podcast. We'll have probably a lot of college football to talk about again, because now we'll have a better idea of who the playoff teams are going to be. Really excited for that, and to see how this shapes out, because we could have all new playoff teams. I mean, Georgia's been there before, but like the first time with no Clemson, no Ohio State, no Oklahoma, could be interesting. So I'm pumped. I'm pumped to see how this plays out. If we get some upsets this week, I kind of hope we do. I love it. I always root for the underdog. I love the upsets. I want to see what happens. And as far as the NFL, this is the time. We'll see. We're gonna know real soon. I mean, we know a few of who's legit and who's not, and who can make that push to the wild card, and then potentially who can make a good run for the Super Bowl. I think Green Bay is going to be there. Even Aaron Rodgers with a hurt toe is still dominant. Really good team. In the NFC, I think the Bucs are still going to be there. Even though they're kind of hurt on defense, they're still winning games, still doing well. So I don't know if they get healthy through the season. If they are going to get healthy, they're still going to be there too. But watch out for those cards, dude. Get my jersey ordered, and I will be rocking the jersey. What should I get, dude? I'm gonna get Color Rush Murray jersey, probably. That's what I'm thinking. Could go Hopkins, but I think we'll do Murray. So I can start repping that team because we all know the Browns are making the playoffs, and if I'm gonna rep a playoff team, it might as well be Arizona Cardinals. Okay, I'm done ranting now. I need to fucking go and do something like edit this shit. So yeah, until next week, y'all be sweet.